ChatGPT will improve your writing. This video is definitely not about cheating on an overdue homework writing assignment. Rather, I will demonstrate 8 valuable ChatGPT tips to enhance and grow your writing skills. Hi, this is Les from Power Up Training. Let's do it and power up. Starting with this poorly written single paragraph introduction to our YouTube tutorial, it's filled with rambling sentences, poor word choices, inconsistent capitalization, and awkward phrasing. This is painfully dreadful. Let's have ChatGPT fix it with this simple 3 commands of improve this paragraph. I'll paste the copied paragraph from Word into the GPT prompt box. I'm going to hit enter, and within seconds, I get a much improved paragraph. However, it's still a bit awkward and pompous with word choices like, listen as I read this aloud. In this educational YouTube tutorial, I will succinctly illustrate the most effective strategies for refining a poorly constructed Word document. While technically correct, it sounds stilted, not very natural. Let's do some interactive GPT editing with an additional prompt of rewrite in a more simple writing style. And the results with just 2 GPT prompts are excellent. In this YouTube video, I'm going to show you how to fix up a messy Word document. This will help make what you're trying to say easier to understand and improve your writing overall. This is a great way to let your talent shine. Much clearer and instantaneously understandable, with the bonus of going from 56 words to an efficient 42 words. So let's power up and dig deeper into better controlling GPT's results. Tip number 1, grammar help. Let's give GPT the simple task of fixing the grammar of this paragraph. Wait, is grammar that simple? Because if grammar is so simple, I would never make a mistake. No, proper grammar is hard. Okay. At a high level, ChatGPT is an interactive tool with a simple interface by way of a prompt box. Ask a question and get results. Let's try. At the bottom of the screen, I'm going to ask, improve this paragraph and show your changes. The core command is improve this paragraph, but this time I added in the modifier of show your changes, which instructs GPT to highlight what modifications are being made. Next, I paste in the target of my command, the paragraph to be improved. I'm going to press enter, and the results are astounding. Our AI robot found and fixed 7 grammar and spelling related mistakes, plus several more word changes to add clarity. This is a great set of results for a minimal amount of work. However, I still find it hard to read. If I want a quick recap of the meeting, this paragraph still makes it difficult to skim the meeting notes and quickly understand what's happening. It's not the fault of GPT because my original single paragraph was just a bunch of unconnected ideas thrown together. It's my fault and not GPT's. So, tip number 2 to the rescue, create bullet points. Our meeting recap is really just a set of topics covered. So why not just turn them into individual bullet points instead of a single paragraph of mishmashed ideas? ChatGPT makes this a snap. I simply issue the command, turn this into bullet points, and presto, bullet points. That is cool. But look closer. Our GPT robot did not just turn each sentence into a bullet point. No, it looked at the context and organized the ideas, not the sentences. Specifically note identified complications, where GPT grouped 3 sub-bullet points together. Those last 3 were not individual sentences. Instead, GPT pooled individual ideas that were stuck into a single sentence. This bullet point approach is simple and effective, and so much more digestible than the original jumbled paragraph recap. You can do this with any other text that you've just written. Just copy and paste and tell GPT to turn it into bullet points. Before going to the next tip, I want to highlight the earlier command of turn this into bullet points. I issued the action command, but I left out the target action. However, since GPT did not see an included target, it assumed that the target to be the previous results. This is the chat nature of ChatGPT. It continues along in a conversation mode. Supply a command, GPT responds, you respond with a modifier, and GPT continues with an interactive interaction. As we go to tip number 3, change the tone, I want to emphasize the importance of always starting with a new chat. Watch as I navigate up to the top left of the screen and click New Chat. This will wipe away GPT's previous memory so that any earlier instructions do not taint my future results. Later, I'm going to show you when you do not want to do a GPT mind wipe. There are uses for both approaches. Also note that I'm selecting GPT-4, the latest version of OpenAI's tool that's currently only available to paying customers like me. However, the earlier version will provide similar results, although obviously the paid version has some superior results. Okay, back to tip 3, improving the tone of your writing. Your writing should have a goal such as teach, or persuade, or amuse, convince, or emphasize. And you will want the word choice and sentence construction to match the mood or textual tone to achieve your writing goal. Let's see how ChatGPT can help improve the word mode. Here is a longer single paragraph essay about improving your copy editing skills. I'm going to use this longer essay as our base text for the rest of our tutorial as a more realistic way of working with larger writing pieces. Let me start with my go-to standard command. Rewrite this essay about copy editing for easy reading. 1. The action command of rewrite. 2. I add in some context about the content. I'm telling GPT that this is an essay about copy editing. And 3. This is a key modifier on what reading level to compose for easy reading. I find GPT provides more natural results with this modifier of for easy reading. Lastly, I add wait for my text. This instructs GPT that I'm not done with my command and it should wait for the follow-up text in my next command prompt. The only reason I do that here is it becomes more clear to you, my YouTube viewer, to see the command separately and not get distracted with my sample text. In the waiting prompt, I then go ahead and paste in the essay text. Once I hit enter, GPT will think and then rewrite the full essay, which follows my thoughts and my structure, but cleans up the formatting, the grammar, and the sentence flow. We'll not examine the whole essay in this tutorial, but just compare the ending to understand what just happened. See the consistency of capitalization, the first words after the category, plus fixing grammar, and the idea flow from the mess of the original last line, which was comprehensible. I ensure your writing flows well and makes sense to this. Comprehensible. Make sure your writing flows smoothly and make sense to the reader. Much, much better. But if I want to nitpick, I could put on my human copy editor hat and point out that there are some missed items. Maybe it starts with, not starts from, and drop the or, because it's not really needed. And the numeric 5 should really be spelled out, which is an acceptable style for any number under 12. But overall, not bad. The tone is pretty easy going. And if we think it could be a slightly better, we could say, you know what? Go ahead and regenerate the response to get an alternative to work with. Here's a side note. Use this 2 of 2 indicator to return back to the original version or jump ahead. And we can keep rolling the dice with more regenerate responses, but let's not be so random. Instead, we can get more specific with our tone, which is different from the writing style of easy to read. If I was writing this for a company coworker, I could change the tone with this command. Rewrite this essay to make it more professional. And both the new title and opening lines immediately shows a radically new tone. Mastering the Art of Copy Editing, a comprehensive guide for elevating your writing skills. The ability to enhance one's writing skills constitutes a comprehensive process that includes ideation, constructing of an outline, creating a draft, followed by meticulous editing. Now, let's go from professional to make it more academic. Enhancing written communications through the application of copy editing techniques. The ability to compose effective writing communications involves a comprehensive process. This process encompasses initial ideation, structure development, draft creation, and significantly the iterative stage of editing. Or let's try this, a humorous tone. How to sprinkle your writing with the fairy dust of copy editing. If you're keen on joining the Wordsmiths Guild, you've signed up for a roller coaster ride from the dizzying heights of brainstorm to the daunting depths of drafting, only to ascend again up to the wings of edit after edit. Okay, that's a bit over the top, but you could later tell GPT to tone it down. My point here is to experiment with different tone commands to better target your writing. Here's a good list to try for different tones or styles of writing: professional, academic, humorous, conversations, emphatic, or creative. But there are some big red flags here. If you're passing the results off as your own creative writing, be aware of a radical shift compared with your own personal style. It's very possible that your teacher or boss or teammate may notice the dramatic change from your normal writing style and assume you're cheating. And yes, you are cheating if you're just copying and pasting the GPT results windows with no thoughts or modifications by you. As an alternative strategy is to take your first draft, select just one tone, such as professional or academic, plus an additional modifier of using a simpler writing style. This should keep the end results closer to your original text and more in your own voice. This would be more in line with a copy editor, guiding your own original creative work, not blindly using the text from an AI robot. Copy editing is a long-time tradition for better writing, and now, if used lightly, acceptable with tools like GPT. Tip number 4, targeting your audience with a point of view. As demonstrated in tip 3, changing the tone is about the style of writing, but not targeting who you're going to be reading your essay or email or word text. What I mean is that even if you write in a professional tone, the resulting words and construct of the sentences would be quite different if you're planning to send the essay to a set of warehouse staff versus the finance budget board. So let's take our earlier copy editing essay and now have ChatGPT rewrite the essay from the point of view with, rewrite this as if I'm a corporate trainer. So, as to speed this along, let's just look at the changing titles. Corporate Trainer, Unlock Your Writing Potential, a Guide to Effective Copy Editing. Now, let's rewrite it as if I'm a high school career counselor. Upgrade your writing skills with copy editing techniques. Or, shifting from the point of view to focusing on your target audience. Rewrite this as if I'm speaking to college freshmen, or as if I'm speaking to customer service agents. The point here is that you can craft both the tone and target your audience from your own customized perspective. In the end, ChatGPT forces you to think about the who, the what, the how, and the why of your writing, a foundational set of understanding, even if you're working with pencil and paper with no internet help. Always know your audience and know your role in that relationship. This tip was actually a bonus of 2 tips bundled together on changing your authoritative perspective as the writer and tailoring the message for your audience. And this takes us to tip number 5, work paragraph by paragraph. As I discussed earlier, using the tool of GPT too aggressively can alter your speaking voice to where it is no longer recognizable as you or as me. So, a better plan is to adjust GPT on a paragraph by paragraph strategy. Let's see how this is going to work. First, let's clear away the past influences, a ChatGPT mind wipe, and start a new chat, plus a new technique. I'm going to write a longer, more sophisticated starting prompt. Look at the key items in this single prompt request. The command, rewrite, with the added context, an opening paragraph to distinguish that I'm not writing a poem or a movie script. Setting the reading level at 12th grade, including my perspective, coaching college students, the topic or goal of the essay, how to become a better writer, and finally, setting the tone. Make it engaging. Then I supply the opening paragraph. This has pulled in our previous 4 tips into a single prompt. And the results are solid. But for my taste, it's still using too many complex words and phrases. I would never write The Art of Refining, or A Multifaceted Journey, or The Birth of an Idea. That's not my style. So let's tone it down a notch. And the trick to my original prompt is that I use the targeted reading level of 12th grade. I'm going to lower it down to 8th grade. I'm not saying that my audience and I are 8th graders, but we want to simplify the word choice and the complexity of sentence structure to make it easier to grasp. And for my style, I typically find 8th grade is an easy to understand level, but not too simplistic. It matches me, and in this example, I do find, unfortunately, the use of the terms like cool idea and make ya a super editor just a bit too casual. I may later experiment with a grade or 2 to get the complication up a little higher. So play with the grade level and dial it in to where it feels just right for your specific essay. And as I rewrite the paragraph, it does seem to pack too many ideas into just a single paragraph, which is what I did with the original paragraph, so it's not GPT's fault. I can fix it now by stating, break this into 2 paragraphs. And this looks better. It reinforces the fact that you must always be the better editor. ChatGPT can be a good aid, but the finished results must be your responsibility. The bonus is that in the end, you will always be able to state that the ownership of the work is yours, not some AI robots, because you made the final editing decisions. So no, you're not cheating. You're just being aided by an AI copy editor that is supervised by you. We're at a point to continue working on our essay text, and this is the time when you do not want to do the mind wipe. By not using the new chat command to clear out the previous modifications, we're able to continue our just created modifications to apply to future text. We use the newly fine-tuned tone and style and approach with this prompt. Rewrite the rest of this essay using the same style. I drop in a bunch more paragraphs and I have it complete my work. However, for my personal working style, I actually stay in Word. I send a paragraph over to ChatGPT, and I'll use some of the ideas to rewrite in Word. I rarely copy the full results and paste it back into Word unless GPT nails it. Otherwise, I use GPT as a brainstorming commentator, giving me advice on how to revise my work, and then repeat on the next paragraph one by one. This approach will take more time, but almost always result in a higher quality finished product. This is a well thought out and expertly crafted results when I go paragraph by paragraph. Now, to tip number 6, TLDR, summarize. For some of my longer emails, I often find it effective to summarize the topics for my readers. An effective executive summary may encourage your email recipients to read the full email. But with the additional TLDR, too long didn't read, at least you can feel confident that your key points will come across. To make it even easier, ChatGPT to the rescue. Watch how easy it is to summarize our previous essay with this prompt. Write a 1-paragraph TLDR summary. If it is a longer text document, give it more than just 1 paragraph to use, or if it's a bit too wordy, tell it rewrite with fewer words. This is a nice touch that is easy to add to many of your writing tasks. Number 7. No, this is a big warning. Never do this. Create a 600-word essay about copy editing. Do not be fooled. The results may look great, but it is not your ideas or even based on your writing. It is the equivalent of an AI robot plagiarism with the humongous risk of also being just plain wrong. ChatGPT sometimes hallucinates facts that do not exist. ChatGPT is not a research tool. It's a large language word predictor and modifier. Never let it write your essays from scratch. So number 8 is just don't do this. Instead, work with coached outlines. If you're stuck on where to begin an essay, give GPT directions to create an outline. But don't let it loose unsupervised. Let it work with your ideas and your concept. First, think through your 1, the topic, the writing style, the details to be included in your essay, specific topics to cover, the more the better. Include your finalized thesis summary. These are to be fed into GPT to create a personalized outline based on your original thoughts and your vision. Look at this greater starter outline that ChatGPT can deliver. Here's my detailed prompt. Create a general use essay outline about best practices for copy editing. Target a 10th grade reading level. Use examples such as varying word choices and length. Discuss the use of active verbs. Cover the 5 principles of copy editing. Be clear, be concise, be consistent, be correct, be comprehensible. Conclude that good writing takes both practice and numerous rereading and fine-tuning of your message. And the result is a strong outline that can be further refined. If I copy this and drop this into Microsoft Word, I now have a working plan. Examine the outline, add and remove your own ideas, shift the contents around, and then go write your essays in your voice with your ideas. Remember to use our earlier tips to go back and edit and refine your prose once the first draft is done. GPT is a tool to enhance your writing, not cripple you. ChatGPT will teach you to be a better writer and not replace you. If this was helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. You may also consider watching this tutorial, ChatGPT Slide Title Makeover for Better Presentations, which targets PowerPoint but can equally be applied to writing better essay titles. Until next time, go power up.